Hey, what it do, YouTube? It's your boy Q, and we are about to start the second half of Split 2 of the ALGS. And I realize it's been a minute since I've done one of these Power 10 rankings. I saw one floating around from the competitive Apex Reddit account. If anyone knows who helps put all that stuff together, feel free to send them my way. I'd love to be able to give my input since I am someone who does watch literally every region. But, you know, if it's your first time through, I don't do these just off of the scoreboard and how they're looking so far. This is a BR, right? There's a lot of RNG factors. We do definitely very much take into account the current performance, but there'll be a little bit of the eye test here as well. And of course, we'll also be taking into account some recent LAN performances since this is a global Power 10 ranking. So feel free to let me know where I'm right, where I'm wrong along the way, of course, down in those comments below. But let's go ahead and get down and do what it do. Now, I do want to get started off with some honorable mentions here. We're actually going to get started off in that South American region, starting off with Singularity and Godfire. In between the break here, actually, both rosters went through some roster moves. I am going to be very intrigued to see how things played out. I don't really know which way to weigh one or the other. I do think with Ben coming back to Singularity and having some familiarity there will definitely give them a little bit of the edge. But I do want to see how they play out over this next week or two before really weighing in on things. I don't think I've actually put up the video just quite yet. I am be putting it up here soon. If the future me can remember, I'll make sure to put a little bit of a little card up there in that top right hand corner there for you. I almost said left, that top right hand corner for you guys. That way you can see all the moves that did go down in the South American region. I think 3 of the top 5 teams had some sort of roster change. It was kind of crazy. As far as for North America, though, my honorable mention is going to be NRG. They haven't looked great, but they have shown some forms of consistency, which can be seen as a positive during a split, which has shown us a lot of havoc, right? So even though they're not in the top 10, they do have Sweet. I do think that they're a team that you're definitely going to have to make sure that you keep your eye on. Now, out of the APAC-North region, I want to give an honorable mention to FC Destroy. The only reason they didn't make the top 10 list, because even though they did look really great to start off the season, they really did not look great on the biggest of stages at London. So I'm going to need to see a little bit more of big performances from them here in a row, kind of stack some consistency before I can really put them into that top 10 globally. Now, as far as the APAC-South region, Blackhand is a team that just got put together in between the splits. It was kind of a little mixture of a couple of rosters here. I would honestly say they need to show a little bit more consistency, but they're a team you should definitely be keeping an eye out for out of that APAC-South region. And that really only brings us to our last honorable mention out of that EMEA region, which is going to be Vexed. We actually recently talked with Loopy over here on the channel. I feel really confident about what they've got going on, cooking behind the scenes. I just really can't wait to see it translate to when it matters the most, which is, of course, on that scoreboard, and, of course, once they make LAN. All right? But you know what? Let's go ahead and get into that top 10. Time to lock in and focus up. But before we do, YouTube, how's your sleep, fam? Do you ever catch yourself, struggling with sleep or headaches after a long day at the grind? GamerAdvantage is the leader in impactful eyewear technology that have been proven to help you sleep better, focus more, all without distorting color or comfort, relieving headaches and eye strain, all while fitting comfortably under a headset. Stay in the game longer with GamerAdvantage. Link is always going to be down in that description below. Don't forget, when you check out, code YoBoyCue saves you that 10%. All right, let's go ahead and get started off in that 10 spot. I'm actually going to go ahead and put Finatic. They had a 30-point game in their first week of play for the APAC-North. They did, unfortunately, though, they also had 3 games with 2 points or less. So I do think they're still a top team in APAC-North until proven otherwise. And, of course, they did have a late start to their season. They only have the 1 session. But until proven otherwise, I do think I got to keep Finatic inside of that top 10. Now, I know I'm going to have some people who are going to have some troubles with this number 9, especially compared to that competitive Apex Reddit top 10, well, top 25, but in their top 10. In my number 9 spot, I'm actually going to be putting Alliance. This Alliance story it seems all too familiar, right? They started off strong, but the question is, can they avoid fizzling out the way that they did in Split 1? Until I start to see, again, kind of same story, a little bit more consistency, we're going to go ahead and keep Alliance in that 9 spot. And at the 8 spot, I'm really loving this snipe down, redemption arc that we're seeing. I don't think we can let one outlier day really kind of sway as far as the vote and as far as how good they've been looking otherwise. I do think that they're still a top 10 team in the world. I do want to see how they bounce back this coming week, though, after the really tough and disappointing 18th place finish. Now, as far as in that 7 spot, I'm going to go ahead and keep Ascend in there. That's going to be Ascend for me. They've just been a great staple of consistency. Like, they haven't really quite popped yet, right? But they're always in contention. I mean, plus you've got Kashira, who I am going to be trying to sit down and interview with over here on the channel in the next couple of weeks. I'm really looking forward to trying to pick his brain and kind of see how things are going over in the Ascend camp. But I do think I definitely got to keep them in that 7 spot. Now, in my 6th spot here is going to be a team that most people aren't putting this high, but it's going to be Onic Esports. They're basically 1A and 1B with Moist Esports out of the APAC-South region. And I know a lot of people have a lot of respect for Moist. I think it's just a matter of time before people realize that Onic really is right on their tails there. I think I'm going to go ahead and keep them in that 6th spot there. That brings us into our number 5 here. Now, in that 5 spot, that's going to be KCP. Vibes have been high after the Zane pickup. We actually got to speak with Nasky over here, was it about a month or so ago, a little bit more than that, was saying that the vibes were really high since the pickup of Zane. The results definitely seem to be high as well. Really excited to see how the back half of the split really looks for them. Now, in that number 4 spot is going to be a team that I think other people are going to have rated lower. Granted, this is after a move that we just seen today. I actually talked about it over on the channel earlier today with Rambo coming out of retirement and signing up onto that Dark Zero roster. We're talking about Rambo, Zero, Jen Burton. I would move them up a little bit higher up into this list, but I want to see them in action here first. So for now, they're going to sit in that number 4 seat. In that number 3 seat, we talked about it earlier. Onic, 1B, 1A in APAC-South. That's going to be Moist Esports. They play a very consistent game, and I think what a lot of people would consider an inconsistent region. Just in the fact that you still see a lot of ape-heavy gameplay, even during ALGS. Moist Esports, they play that game, that pace that we see on the global level. It's part of the reason it's not sexy, it's not cool, but it gets them the results that they need, all right? They're going to be in our 3 spot. In that number 2 spot, I'm going to be out of the EMEA regions. That's going to be Firebeavers. They've been an uber frag heavy team, which does mean sometimes because they take those risks, it doesn't always pay off. But I think once they really need to lock things in, especially because they're going to have a chip on their shoulder after missing the first playoffs because of visa issues, I think they're going to be locked in come playoff time. Go ahead and give me them in that number 2 spot, which means in the number 1 spot, which really shouldn't be surprising anyone. That's going to be Xset, right? They've just been really a staple of consistency, and they look really, really good. They always seem to just find little ways to improve. When we've seen some teams come out and struggle with those season 16 changes, they've been right on top of it. I think they very much deserve that number 1 spot right now. But let me know what you think, YouTube, down in those comments below. Those comments and those likes, they really help me out with that tough YouTube algorithm, right? And y'all have absolutely been killing it. I see we've got quite a few people coming back for more videos, and I really do appreciate that. But before we get out of here, fam, I'm going to need your help, all right? We're chasing down that first 250 subscribers, and we're almost at 200. If you enjoyed the video and you want to make sure that you're back for that daily esports news, updates, videos just like that, hit the subscribe button and turn those notifications on so we can catch y'all right back here, all right? Until we do catch y'all back over here for the next video or the next ALGS watch party, don't forget, with everything crazy going on in the world today, be true, be you, be sincere, game hard and love hard, all right, y'all? It's your boy Q, signing out.
If you ain't show something, you just don't wanna be. You wanna be me, but you will never be as fresh as see you in.